Hi guys, my name's James from the YouTube channel Plumber Parts, and my contribution to 66 of Us is going to be a few plumbing tips DIY that you can do in the home during lockdown. So let's get on with it.
It was hard to sort of enjoy that week, knowing that you could be told that you stay on for an Ashes trip or you're on a plane.
You will never understand what I went
Thanks for everyone's efforts this last few days. Tomorrow morning we'll let you know if you're in or out of the squad. Okay?
A 17 for the Qantas Ashes
You will
tour.
never understand what you put me through.
Cameron
You'll
Bancroft,
never be a good
Patrick
lover.
Cummins, Marcus Harris, Josh
A
Mason.
good
Alright, God! Right then guys, so you've been caught out again, you've been sat on the sofa during lockdown, and all those jobs you promised you'd do have come round to bite you. Either that, or you don't know what the jobs actually are yet. Well, I'm here to give you a bit of a guide as to how to use your time in a great way, and also not end your marriage if you're married. So, we're going to do 8 tips, 8 plumbing tips and things you can do during the coronavirus lockdown, and there's going to be one at the end as well that I'm going to add on as a little tip that, seriously, if you watch it all the way guys, this is how you want to do the last one. It's brilliant. I'm out of breath just going up the stairs, Emily. Have I got it? Some of them are going to be advanced, some of them are going to be really easy, but I'm sure you're going to be able to find something you can do as well. If you're not happy doing any of the things that I say here, don't go ahead and do it, because at the moment plumbers are really, really hard to get hold of, and we're not really supposed to be going out unless it's for emergencies. So the first thing we're going to do is not look in this room here, because this is the bathroom that I've still not finished. If we go downstairs, this is the downstairs toilet that I've not finished. The thing is, right, I'd really actually love to do these little jobs at the moment, but I can't because all of the suppliers are shut. That's the excuse, isn't it? She's smiling at the moment, but it's only for the camera. She's actually a vicious, murderous bumhead. Anyway, let's get on with the video. I've got my tools here that you can get on my Amazon shop, even though they're not delivering anything at the moment, and go from there. Let's do this, and remember to hold tight. Oh God, it's him. Meow. Hello, mate. Look at you. Meow. Oh, look at your little stubby tail. Oh my God. Poor cat. Right, I'll just move Emily's bra out of the way and then we can get on with this first bit. Job number 1, bleed those radiators until they wee out heating system water onto a rag or suitable receptacle. So then guys, the first job I'd say you should go around and do is just make sure that all your radiators have been bled. To do that, you're going to need a little thing called a radiator bleed key. I've always got one on my keys. I actually have a radiator bleed key on every set of keys I've got. They sit on the dashboard in the van as well. And you can basically find these everywhere around the house because I'm always losing them. Little tip I'd give you is sometimes what you want to do with these keys is just file off the taper at the end. Because if you look closely, you'll find there's a little taper on there, and that sometimes doesn't allow you to get onto the radiator key well enough. So sometimes you need to get rid of them. Oh yeah, and I've got crusty fingers because of all the alcohol gel. Every radiator is going to have a radiator bleed key on it. Now sometimes you're going to go to it and you're going to try and undo it and it will not undo. In that case, just leave it because they really shear off quite easily. And sometimes you'll find that they won't be in the end. I mean, it's actually at the other end on this radiator, but they'll be in the side of the radiator. So you've got to be a bit sort of investigative to find out where they are. The ones that are in the side of the radiators tend to be a little bit more difficult to undo. So just go easy with them. And if you find they're not going to undo, don't undo it, okay? If you do undo it and you find that water comes out, that's great. So the first thing you want to do is turn your heating system off. Make sure your pump's off and all that. I'm sure you know how to do that. If you don't, then probably best you embark on watching the next Netflix box set. I definitely recommend the Windsors because it's so funny. Camilla. So what you want to do once you've done that, make sure your radiator valves are open and everything. And it's a really, really simple process. All you need to do is get your radiator key in just like this, twist it, and look, we've got water coming out of here already, that's fine. If you had air in the top, you'd hear air starting to hiss out, and then once water started coming out, that meant that you'd vented that radiator. If you've got what's called a sealed system, which means you've got like a pressure gauge on the boiler, or you've got a filling loop with a pressure gauge somewhere else on the heating system, usually in the airing cupboard or in the loft, then sometimes you'll find that air will stop coming out, and what you want to do is just shut this again, find the filling loop, top the heating system pressure back up to 1 bar, making sure that the system is cold, and then you can get back on with venting all your radiators out. You might have to do that sequence a few times, because if you've got a heating system with 10 radiators, you know, you're going to be letting maybe quite a lot of air out, and I'll be covering what we might have to do for that as one of the other jobs in this video today. And believe me, once we get to number 9, the little extra one, you are going to be so happy, I tell you. I would have saved not only your marriage or, you know, your partnership or whatever it may be, but I'll give you a sense of pride at this time of utter lunacy, and it'll take your mind off the fact that you really should send that email. Oh my God, what is happening? And you'll stop reading the news for 5 minutes. So there we go. Once you've vented all the radiators in the house, you can then get on with job number 2. Oh, lucky you. Have yourself a Mars bar. Can we just take a second just to look at how, absolutely, how is it that cats make doing nothing, which I'm really struggling with at the moment, how do they make it look so good? Look at him. Gee. Hey, bro. I don't know how you do it, George. It is a hectic schedule, isn't it? Hey, my little boy. Look at you, though, and look at this little stubby tail. What happened to your tail, George? What happened to it? Do we know? Oh, yeah, all right, okay, all right, calm down. Let go. George, let go. Let go of my watch. Wait, George! No, I really would like you to let go of my watch, George. Let go. Alright, man, Jesus. I knew I shouldn't have brought up his tail. Anyway, number 2. It's time to get the TRVs working. TRV. It's time to get the TRVs working. Get them freed up with a little pair of pliers. The next thing you want to do, if you've got them on your heating system, is check the radiator TRVs. Oh, they've probably spent a whole winter either opening or closing and working completely fine, but you've got the time now because you're locked down to check them all out, haven't you? So it's really simple. Firstly, you lay on your back like this. No, you don't. The first thing you want to do, right, is open up the TRV fully so it says max on it. Now, at this point, you might want to pop the heating on, and you'll probably feel that the pipe coming out to the radiator is getting hot, or the pipe at the other end is. It's up to you. I don't tend to put the heating on for this bit. What you want to do is figure out how to take this head off. Now, most radiator valves will unscrew. They'll just have a little collar like this. That means they unscrew. But some of them will have a little lug that you need to pull out, like a little plastic lug. And sometimes you've got a little Allen key under there you need to undo, and then the head will come off. Every manufacturer is different, and I'm not going to cover all of them here. So you undo this like so, and then you take the head off like that. That head is out of the way, and you'll see we've got a little pin here. Now, a lot of YouTube videos say you just want to start tapping that pin with a hammer to free it off. Don't do that. I did that once in an office block where I had 4 stories of heating system water above me. The pin just flew straight out of that, and the pressure with the small hole flew water easily 10 or 15 feet across an office block floor, and I weren't very happy, believe me. What you want to do is just grab your set of grips just like this and just wiggle up and down just to make sure that's nice and free, and that's lovely and free there. And then once you've done that, there's no harm in just a little spray of maybe WD-40 or a tiny bit of spray grease, and then just wiggle it up and down a little bit more. Rebuild your TRV like so, making sure you don't cross the thread, and then set your TRV to the temperature that you want it. Now remember that TRVs, the numbers on the side of them, don't correlate to the temperature of the radiator. They're looking for the temperature in the room. So you'll often find that temperature number 3 or 4, depending on the radiator make, is roughly the room temperature you're going to be looking for. And if you turn the heating system on after a few hours and you find that the room isn't getting as warm as you'd like it, don't open these up fully. Just crack them open a little bit more and leave it for a day or 2. That's the best way to set up thermostatic radiator valves, which is what these are. And if you open them up fully, you won't make any saving. And at the moment, none of us know when we're going back to work, so saving every penny is probably a good idea. What the hell is under this bed? There's a gimp mask under this bed. No, there's not.
Oh yeah, oh God, my dear. We got to balance every radiator in here. Skibbity babbity bibbity babbity boo. I'm gonna balance every radiator for you, my love.
Right then, gang, well done. You've made it through the first two. If you go through every radiator doing that, you'll now know that your thermostatic radiator valves are all free and working. And also you've managed to waste away probably another hour, hour and a half, depending on how many radiators you've got in your house. Now we're going to move on to number 3. Now this might need doing or it might not. This is balancing out the radiators, the heating system. It's very easy to do, and you'll know that you don't need to do it. If all of the radiators in your house get nice and hot, you don't have to worry about doing this. But if you're finding that a few of the radiators don't get as hot as the other ones, maybe it's a balancing issue and it'll be a good idea to sort this out. What you want to do is make sure that the boiler pressure is up to where it needs to be, so that's 1 bar cold. That's kind of where I look to go for. And then you're going to turn the boiler and the pump off. We don't want them on for this particular stage. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the other end of the radiator where we've got another type of valve called a lock shield. Now, some radiators you're going to find have got lock shields on both ends, so you're just going to have to choose which end you want to do this to. Whichever end you don't do it to, leave that fully open, and the end that we are going to balance, I'll show you what you need to do. Now, what you're going to do is, oh, I hate these caps. Take the cap off, nice and easy, as you can see. Get an adjustable spanner, and you're going to shut the lock shield all the way down, just completely shut. And that is shut now. So remember, if you turn it to the right, righty-tighty, that means off. Now what you want to do is just make a little bit of a note, a mental note of where that is right now. So remember that righty-tighty and lefty-loosey, and then what we're going to do is, so look, I can see there where that valve lies at the moment. It's pointing in that direction. I just want to give it a quarter of a turn open. So just like that. That is a quarter of a turn. There we go. That radiator, hopefully now, will be done. Then we go around every other radiator in the house and do the exact same thing. Once we've done that to every radiator, we're going to make sure that every thermostatic radiator valve at the other end of the radiator is fully open, and then we're going to put the heating system back on. We're going to leave it running for about an hour, so then we can make sure that all the radiators are getting nice and hot, and if they all are now, then wow, you've done a great job and it's all working fine. If you're finding that some are struggling, you're going to maybe just give them a crack more flow, which is just another little crack. Don't open them up fully, just a crack more flow, and that's how we balance a heating system out. You've just done job number 3 on this fantastic list of things to do. Are you feeling me now, baby? We're staying alive. Ha 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 ha, we're staying alive. What is going on with me? I actually think I'm losing it, and I'm starting to now randomly eat bits of cake and toast. I like eating toast.
Oh, yeah, it's time to get more intricate and more advanced now. We're gonna take the radiator off the wall and flush it out. We're gonna get rid of the sludge outside, we're gonna make it clean. And then we're gonna put it back on the wall and clean it, Mr. Sheen. That rhymes.
Now this is the first really advanced one, I'm going to say. I have done another video on how to do this, so what I might do for this one is leave a link to that video for a full guide on it. But what I would say is if you're finding that your radiators are cold at the bottom and they're hot at the top, it probably means you've got sludge in the radiators, and it's not out the realms of reality for you to be able to take a small radiator off if you're finding it's a small one, and then taking it outside and flushing it through and getting rid of that sludge, because what's causing the coldness in the bottom of the radiator is sludge. Now I'll just do a brief description here of how we do it, but a full video description of that will be in the links below, okay? So what we do is we turn the heating system off, we turn that radiator valve off, we turn that radiator valve off, and then we open up the bleed key at the top and we wait for water to stop running. Once water stops running, that proves that these two valves are holding. We shut that, we slacken this nut here, we slacken this nut here, and we sort of lift it up, flop it towards us, making sure we've got towels and everything just down here like so. And then we just pop each valve off, we take the radiator outside, we flush it, we bring it back in here, and then we rebuild it up. We do that nut, we do that nut, we make sure that's shut, we open these just slowly, let out some air out of the air vent, and then rebalance the radiator like I showed you to in step 3.
Hold tight and welcome to today's plumberpulse.co.uk video. Now, if there's one thing that cats hate is sludged up radiators. Every cat hates that, and I'm no different. There's links to those videos below in the description. description you can tell. The subject is too big for this, so I did a standalone video as well. They were filmed many years ago when I was much fatter then. Cause I was eating lots of cake and not doing nothing. Grab yourself a garden hose and basically try and get it over the end, or try and get it so it's up against the radiator, okay? Get ready to hold this on, because you're going to turn mains water on and blast this radiator through. Seriously though guys, I have left links to these videos below. They're quite large subjects for me to try and put into this video where we've got lots of little jobs to do. So if you want to add them to your list, then by all means check them out. But carry on watching the video guys, because we've got a few more things that I think you might want to try out if you're capable. One of the other jobs I've got to do is put the door on this wardrobe, but I haven't done that yet because I've got other things to do. The next job, this is job number 5, I think it's a really, really handy one to know how to do. And we're going to come into this room here. Look, you're just sat on that at the moment. Hey guys, what you want to do, you actually want to try and find a towel rail that has this, which has got one of these in the top of it. So yeah, step number 5, inhibit the heating system. Now, inhibitor is what we put in our heating system water to stop the water inside our radiators from reacting and rusting with what the radiator's made of, which is namely steel. We don't want that sort of thing to happen. We don't want steel, iron, or any sort of rusting or reaction to happen with that water. So we put an inhibitor in, which inhibits the system from doing that. Now, again, I have done a full video on this, and I will leave the links to that below, okay? How to inhibit a heating system, but it's actually really, really simple. You buy yourself a little tub of inhibitor. I've got some downstairs. And what you do is you shut each valve on the radiator. I choose one of these radiators because it's easier for you guys to do this. So if we shut that valve and we shut that valve, then we slackened off this bleed nut again. And what are we doing when we slack that off? You guessed it, we're proving that those valves are holding. Once we know those valves are holding, you can basically just take this out and you've got a nice big hole then that you can pour inhibitor into. But before you do that, you need to get rid of some of the water in this radiator, and the best way to do that is to slack this nut off here, wrap a towel around here and all that sort of thing, and you'll be able to let some water out. Just keep letting it out, and just let out more than you think you need. I mean, you're probably going to want to let out roughly 2 pints, so be ready for about 2 pints of water to come out. Or if you've got a hot system already, you can sometimes feel the radiator cooling down. Now, if you get to about here, you've let out about that much water, that's probably going to take the amount of a tub of inhibitor. Once you've let enough water out, you tighten this nut up here, you go back up to the top, you pour your inhibitor into the top through this hole here, then you put this back on, make sure that everything's tightened up here, and then just undo the valves just down here, bleed out any air that was left in the top, and then that's basically it, you're done. All you need to do is rebalance one of the valves on that radiator, and you've poured in a nice little bit of inhibitor. Now that is an advanced job. Like I said, there's a full video that I've done on it, and I'll leave that in the links below. But don't check those links out until the end, because you are going to want to know what step number 9 is. It's inside number 9. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Oh my God, this is the worst job ever in the whole world. It's been 15 days since the lockdown, and I've only just got onto item number 6 in Plumber Parts' Plumbing DIY Coronavirus Lockdown video. Oh no. You don't want to be doing this one, guys, but you know what? Why not have a go at it? Because if life's bad now, why not make it loads worse? This is going to be grim. Number 6 is go round, whip off your basin traps, and give them a bit of a clean out, okay?
The waistline, it's all dirty. It's full of all the shit you spit out when you brush your teeth.
Oh God, what have we got in here? If you can find your way through the maelstrom of tampons, aspirin, Listerine, and little blue pills, then you're going to find Satan at the back. I mean, we've got to clean this out, and we go. You can have your trap at the back. Now, traps are seriously easy. Check them out. All you're going to want to do is undo this nut here, and you'll be able to do it by hand. You just look, you watch me just slacken that off. Look, there we go. That nut is now slackened off. And then this nut at the back here, you see that nut there? Do exactly the same thing, slacken that off. Like so, and look, that's loose now. I'm not going to take it out, I honestly don't want to. But once you've taken that out, go outside with it. Don't run any water into the basin, because you're going to run water into a basin that doesn't have a trap in it. Go outside rinse the trap out in a hose, give it a good washing out, make sure that the little rubber washers on them don't fall off, and I'll show you what I mean. We've got, if we just take this off like so, there's a little rubber washer just here, make sure that doesn't fall off, and you have a little tapered one on the back there. To rebuild up one of these, what you need to do is make sure that the red collar, or you sometimes get a red or a blue plastic collar, that sits on the back of the rubber washer, and it should all fit together just like it's showing here in this nice little diagram. When you're tightening everything up as well, don't go mental tightening it up because it's on rubber, remember, and rubber squeezes quite easily. But if you over tighten it, you might squeeze the rubber out of what it was actually in and sealing. So you don't want to be doing that. You just do them up, and then you can run water back through there again as well. Make sure you do that actually, because the big job of a trap is to not allow smell back into the room. So you fill that up and then everything should be okay. Do the same if you can with your shower trap. So yeah, that'll be job number 6. Go round and do all of the traps, clean them all out, make sure they're all okay. I mean, we've moved away from the heating now, haven't we? You know what I mean?
Silly now. Job 7.
Oh my god. Now, you guys know that I haven't finished this bathroom off yet. That's why this is here. Yes, but there is plenty of silicone in here that needs redoing, even though I'm going to rip out this bath and all of the tiles. So another job you want to get round to having a look at doing is re-siliconing those mouldy bits of silicone up in the bottom of the shower. Add that to your list if you have to do it. Now, I see online that there's loads of those tools, those little plastic tools that kind of have like a hook thing on them. They're absolutely useless. What you really want to get is a window palette knife. They're the best thing, and mine's been stolen, or at least I've lost it. I always say it's been stolen, but actually I've just forgotten where I put it. See, and once you've pulled off the old silicone, it is a lot of clearing up work. You've got to get off all these little bits, make sure that they're all off like so. Because I'm not going to do that now, because it's not one of the jobs I want to do. I have done a video showing you how to do this particular job as well. The one thing I'd say, the secret to reapplying silicone to a joint that used to have it is making sure that everything else has been taken off. Make sure that all the old silicone is gone. Make sure that every little bit of dust, debris and all that is taken away and cleaned off, and then you're on your way to having a successful new silicone joint. Now remember, I always use profilers to get my silicone joints, making them look good, making them look professional, and I have left a link to my Amazon store to where the profilers are. If they get delivered at the moment is anybody's guess. It seems like certain things are coming through. Sometimes everyone's got a different tool, like look at that, how easy that comes off. But look, there's still a fair bit of silicone underneath, and sometimes you just got to work at it to get all that off out the way, and make sure it's all cleaned up, ready for you to get on and put your new bit of silicone on. Okay, so that is job number 7. Oh my god, you didn't think that one was going to come in, did you? You thought it was all going to be, let's descale the shower head. Actually, that would probably be quite a good one to do. Yeah, so job number 7.5 is descale the shower head. Well guys, I'm starting to realise that a few of the points I've done today I've covered before, but you know, some people might not have found plumber parts in the past, and they might be going around now on the old interwebs having a look for something to do to take up their time, and they've just found this video and it's inspired them to not only do a little bit, save their sanity, but also to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, so every time I upload a new video you get a little tinkle saying, hey, he's uploading a new video, check it out, it might be a good one, you never know. There's a 50-50 chance, isn't there? And then you think, wow, I've watched this video, I've done a few of them already, I'm going to comment below. Wow, how good this is. And I'm actually going to click the like button as well, maybe. And you know what? You can share this video as well. So if you've got any friends and family who are getting bored, share this thing. There's a little share button. Click on that. Share it with your best mate's missus, saying this is what you should be getting him to do, or her to do, or whatever. Even though it would be a bit weird sharing stuff with your best mate's missus online. That can get a bit messy. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and I also have another YouTube channel called Times with James that has lots of great videos of me learning to fly when flying was allowed and when I could afford it. Anyway, we've got one more proper bit of advice to do. Oh yeah, and then we've got number 9 on top of that, inside number 9, which is definitely the bit of advice that I think you're all going to follow. To the book, Believe. Oh, there was a tabby cat, a tabby cat called G, and he got lots of scrubs. Oh yes, on his tabby belly. We're going up to that place that no one likes. And look, there's another job for me to do as well, is to get all that painted and finished. We're going up to the loft. Anyway, up in my loft is where my hot water tank is, and also quite a lot of pipe work and stuff that I haven't lagged yet. So, job number 8, if you've got it and if you can get hold of it, lag your pipes. Get them lagged and insulated. Or if they're laying up in the loft, make sure that your loft insulation is laying over the top of the pipes. And when you do that work as well, and I'm sure you're used to wearing a face mask now, pop a little face mask on. If you haven't got any face masks, probably use, I don't know, a bra that's lying around, something like that. Anything that will cover your mouth and protect your lungsy ones, all right? As you can see, I've got quite a lot of insulation up here. Also, I've got a load of rooks making a little nest just above that gallows bracket there that I had to install. That there you'll see is the flue going from the fire. That's an insulated flue. And look, you can see, it's quite interesting. All the old ducts that used to go from the old chimney, that used to go through each one of the rooms. And if you imagine this massive brick section down in each room, it made a huge difference taking all of that out. But it's one of those jobs I never want to do again, believe me. So anyway, look, I'll show you on a tiny little bit here. We're just going to lag our pipe. So look what a complete state all this is. Look, not done it yet. It's just absolutely dreadful. So pipe insulation is just like a foamy sort of insulation like this. And what a lot of people struggle with is just how to deal with it. Now, this little tool here is called a Pipe Lagger Pro, I think this one is. Don't know why it's a Pro one. But they're really, really handy for giving you a structured way of making your joints when you're doing insulation. And at the moment, I mean, I'd say, oh, get them from here, get them from there. But at the moment, I have no idea. Well, if these are available in the Amazon store, I'll pop them in there. But, yeah, this one's quite a small walled one, actually. Look at that. I mean, that's really come up. That's come up pretty good, actually. And usually they come with like a nice blade, just like this, which means then you can lay this out and just do nice cuts, just like this. Really, really nice, neat cuts. If you want to do like a 45, look, you just lay that on here and look, get that through there, and you've got a lovely 45, which when you build up your joint, look, no gap, nothing like that. And it's a really, really good way of doing your installations. If you want to do a T-joint, cut this down to there, cut that down to there so the T-joint bit pops out like so. And then the bit that you want to join into that, you've got that template just there, like so. Quick cut up there, like that. Cut just here, like so. Watch this, guys. See how cool this is. And then that just pops on there like that. And just look how nice that joint is. Isn't that a lovely joint? So if you've got a Pipe Lagger Pro, it's going to make this job really, really easy for you. If you haven't, I'm afraid you're going to be doing it with a hacksaw. Also, I always tend to use gaffer tape when I'm doing up. I'm a bit annoyed that this is black gaffer tape. I'd much prefer to do this with silver gaffer tape because that would look nicer with this sort of insulation. But a lot of people use tie wraps. Everyone's got their own way of doing things, and I'm not the sort of person who's going to start going on about that. So there we go. That's job number 8. Get up in the loft or find the pipes that are in the airing cupboard or those sorts of places and get them insulated. Either use proper insulation, or if it's in the loft and the pipes are laying on the loft rafters, that sort of thing, get your loft insulation and put it over the top of the pipes, because the last thing you want now, guys, is a really, really sharp frost, and they can happen in May or whatever, and you get a burst pipe, and trying to get a plumber out at the moment isn't going to be easy because most of them don't want to come out and catch whatever it is that's going around. Okay, so look, I'm going to do a tiny little bit of lagging just here, and we're going to see what it looks like. Oh yeah. So yeah, handy little tool that beast, isn't it? Letting you do all those different types of cuts and everything. Yeah, makes for quite a nice, neat little job as well. Very nice. Got to do me flies up. Oh, I've got loads more lagging to do there. You wouldn't believe. Oh. Right then, guys, so you've done all those jobs. Remember, any of the things that I've said to you today, don't go and do if you don't know how to do it and if you're worried. Because if you have to get a plumber out to fix it, it's going to be a nightmare. Make sure that if you're not happy with doing anything, don't do it. make sure you get a qualified plumber to come in and do it for you. Simple little jobs, you know, they might seem simple sometimes, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's probably best just to watch this video for entertainment and not do anything yourself. I hope you found it entertaining. Anyway, I've forgotten about the last one, haven't I? Number 9. Job number 9 to do. Once you've done all of these jobs, there was always one job left to do. I think you know what it is.
It's time to get the TRVs working. TRV. It's time to get the TRVs working. Get them freed up with a little pair of pliers. Oh, yeah. It's time to get more intricate and more advanced now. We're gonna take the radiator off the wall and flush it out. We're gonna get rid of the sludge outside, we're gonna make it clean. And then we're gonna put it back on the wall and clean it, Mr. Sheen. That rhymes. There's links to those videos below in the description, you can tell. The subject is too big for this, so I did a standalone video as well. They were filmed many years ago when I was much fatter then. 'Cause I was eating lots of cake and not doing nothing. Ooh. Oh yeah, oh God, my dear. We gotta balance every radiator in here. Skibbity babbity bibbity babbity boo. I'm gonna balance every radiator for you, my love.
The waistline, it's all dirty. It's full of all the shit you spit out when you brush your teeth.
Silly now. Job 7. Oh my God.
So there you go, guys. How simple was that? You can follow me over on my YouTube channel, Plumber Parts. You can also follow us on Plumber Parts at Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and also visit our website, plumberparts.co.uk. Why not contribute your own video at 66ofus.uk? Share a skill with the community and we'll all come out of this stronger. Remember, there are 66 million of us and we're all family.